Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about why I don't skate Bones Bushings. And if you're somebody that likes Thunder trucks, why you should not be skating Bones Bushings either. As well as addressing a major problem that I've had and I know other people have had with their Thunder Bushings and their Thunder trucks. Now, I know a lot of people swear by Bones Bushings. I myself, I used to really like Bones Bushings. And to be honest, I have nothing against the bushings. I think the bushings work great. The problem is what they do inside of Thunder trucks. With Thunder trucks, this hanger is pushed really far towards the base plate. And what that does is when you're doing any trick that pinches, like any sort of crooked grind, it makes the pinch more vertical, because if the wheelbase was moved in, if the axle was moved in, it'd be easier to touch your nose. Whereas with Thunders, in order to touch your nose, because this axle is pushed out, it's like a really steep pinch like that. So what happens is when you put Bones Bushings inside Thunder trucks, the Bones Bushings don't take as much space. And so you basically have to shove your axle like down in to get everything to fit into its place. And it never fits exactly right, because Bones Bushings were not made to work inside Thunder trucks. When I used to ride Bones Bushings, I would ride them in my indies and I had no problem. I really liked them. But as soon as I switched to Thunders and I felt how good the pinch is because the axle is so close to the base plate, I decided I wasn't gonna mess with that anymore. However, I have heard a lot of people complain about Thunder Bushings, saying that they're not very durable, that they blow out fast. So in order to keep that really proper, good feeling pinch, I stick with the Thunder stock bushings, the 94 Duros. They're the like semi-transparent ones. These are the ones that Jamie Foy uses, as well as a Shod Wear. I'm sure there's others, but those are the two that I know of. But I have heard a lot of people complain about these bushings cracking, and that is a valid complaint. These bushings cracked on me. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's cracked right in there, and then on the bottom bushing again, right in there. The bushings on the other trucks, they look like they're doing all right though. So if you're someone that's noticed that you have a hard time with Thunder stock bushings, particularly these clear ones, the 94 Duros, first I'm gonna show you how to replace them. And then second, I'm gonna show you a common mistake that people are making that actually makes their bushings break really fast. So if you do have a broken Thunder bushing, you can order these Thunder upgrade kits. I just realized these are not 94 Duros, these are 90 Duros. Now you can see in this kit, I'll go ahead and open it up, but what you have is you've got a replacement pivot cup, you've got replacement bushings, as well as washers, and then randomly they give you axle nuts as well, along with a Thunder sticker. So as far as replacing the bushing, taking it off is, that's the obvious part. You're just gonna twist the nut all the way off. But putting it back on, that's where you need to be a little bit careful, and I'll show you in just a second. So there you go, you can see the chunks that were falling out of this bushing. I just noticed the bushing started feeling really loose. My truck started feeling really loose. And I looked down, I saw the cracked bushing. I could have tightened these down and gotten a few more days out of them, but that would have made them explode even faster. So I just rode my trucks loose for about the last 2 weeks with broken bushings. So here's what we have so far. You can just leave that bottom washer on there. You're gonna put the bottom, top bushing. You might need to like twist it to get it on. And then top washer, I'm just gonna reuse the washer that I used previously, but the kit does come with a new set of washers. Now this is the part that you have to be careful with. With the 90 Duro bushing, that's really soft. You're gonna wanna tighten this just until this nut is flush with the end of the kingpin. So it should look something about like that. If you're somebody that does a lot of Smith grinds or feeble grinds, which I am not, you can try to keep this flush as much as you can, but also realign where the grooves are on your nut, so that you don't surprise yourself and get an accidental kingpin bite when you're trying the trick. All right, let's go ahead and switch out the other side. So the reason you don't want to tighten these down any more than that is because the durometer is already so low, 90 Duro, that's really soft. So with that soft of a durometer, I'm pretty much convinced that no matter what, you're gonna be dealing with bushings breaking. Yeah, you can see this bushing got hit pretty bad. This is the one that you can see the big chunk, and it's actually like cracked deeper in there. Like I could keep peeling this off. But because these bushings are so soft, it does create a temptation to tighten them down the first time that you ride them. And I made this mistake the first time I skated these trucks, these Shod Pro Thunder trucks. that came with the 90 durometer, they were so loose, and I was trying to get like a real session that day, that I just cranked him down and cranked him down and cranked him down until I literally could not crank down this nut any further down on the kingpin. And still, they didn't feel tight enough. So if this is something that you've dealt with, or you're thinking about buying Thunder bushings, this is how you avoid that. First thing you do when you put them on, you get your nut flush with the kingpin, just like we showed you earlier. Now, if I step on this, it's really loose, pretty easy to get wheel bite. You can hear like the squeaking. So at this step in the process, it becomes tempting to want to tighten down your trucks, but you just have to trust me on this. For the first session skating your trucks, do not tighten them. What's gonna happen is, as you ride with these new bushings, for probably about like the first hour, they're gonna feel a little loose, and then gradually they're going to start tightening up. Whatever like the compound is that's in these bushings, it starts out really soft, and then as you turn on it and you ride on it, the bushings start to form around the motion of the turning, and they start to get harder. So just notice how easy it is for me to get wheel bite here. And then at the end of the session, I'm gonna do this again, and you guys are gonna see that after a full session, not doing anything, not tightening the trucks, these bushings are naturally going to tighten themselves. And then you'll have a perfect set of Thunder bushings. You don't have to give up the pinch angle, and it's gonna make your bushings last a lot longer. The worst thing you can do is get impatient, tighten them down, because it's gonna smush the bushings. They'll never turn right. They're never gonna feel exactly right. And then when you go to tighten down your bushings more, there's gonna be nowhere to tighten it because you've already tightened it down so far. So you're gonna give it one session just skating around on the loose bushings as they are. Let them harden up, and then after that session, you can go ahead and tighten them if you wanna go tighter. But for me, after one session, they tighten up enough that I'm happy with the balance of turning and stability. So let's go get our first session in these new bushings. I'll prove to you guys that what I'm saying is true. Let's do it. Currently, I'm visiting my parents up in Logan. So, new park today, should be sick. I mean, not new. I love this park, Smithfield Park. But yeah, a little change of scenery at least. This was my first session in quite a few days, and so my basics definitely felt a bit off. You can see me trying to kind of get the rust off. And I was also having to get used to the new bushings, which was tough, but also I had been riding with broken bushings for about 2 weeks, so I'm not sure how much of that excuse is actually valid or just me coming up with an explanation for why I felt weird. But this kickflip right here felt really good out of nowhere. Super hyped on it. But I really love this park. It's got really good dimensions. It's very playful and very easy to learn and progress. And as the session went on, you can see I start to get more and more comfortable, and the bushings start to stiffen up a little bit. I start to feel a little bit more supported, and I was finally able to land this backside flip that took me forever. The big spin was really quick, and also the tray flip didn't take too long either. And I know you guys are wanting to know what's happening with day 10 of mastering tray flips, and I'm gonna get into that at the end of the video. Now, this ledge and rail combo is seriously the best. The ledge is a little bit taller than what I'm used to, probably 2 or 3 inches taller. So it took me a long time just to get a back 50 on here that I liked. And even then, I didn't love it, but I like the fact that the ledge is just a little bit out of my comfort zone. I feel like it pushes me. This flat bar right here is also a little bit taller than what I usually skate, but it's so similar to the ledge that I feel like you can take practice from one and kind of apply it to the other. So then when I started switching to trying these nose slides on the ledge, I kept having this issue because the ledge was taller than I was used to. I almost had to pop from further away to give myself time to get my board up and into the air. And then I accidentally got taken to fakie on that one. But I didn't want to do it, that's a cop-out. It's only cool if you did it on purpose, and I definitely didn't do that on purpose. So I kept trying these nose slides to try and get one that I felt was good enough. And yeah, it was just a real struggle adjusting to the height. But ultimately, in the end, I was able to get that one with a fairly good pop-out
and you know, I'll take it. So then I moved into the crooks, and after trying the no slides, I knew the crooks was gonna be chilling. It just, I don't know, crooks are more comfortable for me. So finally, at the end of the session, I was pretty gassed, but I really wanted to do a tray flip on the hip. So I know you guys are still wondering what's going on with day 10 of tray flips. I had to take a little bit of a break, and I'll talk a bit about that at the end, but I wanted to see after, you know, my break if I could still get a tray flip. I got one out of the bank earlier, and I wanted to see if I could get one to go over the hip. And I almost gave up on this several times, and I'm glad I didn't, even though I kind of didn't land it as clean as, you know, maybe I would have wanted to. I'm still definitely hyped to roll away. All right, after the session, it's time to test out the bushings and see how wobbly they are. Now, I know this isn't something that you guys can feel yourselves, but maybe visually on camera you can see how now as I'm tilting back and forth, I'm not getting wheel bite. I really have to like press in order to get that wheel bite. And before it was just like a teeter-totter, just flipping back and forth. You might be wondering what's happening with day 10 of mastering tray flips. Basically, the day that I posted day 9, I ended up bruising the arch of my foot. So I had to take a break from skating. This session was the first real session that I had like back that I was feeling good. And you saw me do a couple tray flips. It sucks to have like a big break in the middle of the whole challenge, and it's probably gonna throw off the results, but day 10 is coming soon. Probably gonna film it either today or tomorrow. If you made it this far, drop a like, subscribe to see more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.